Nigeria have gone ahead to beat the hosts of the African Cup of Nations, that is Ivory Coast, and they've gone ahead to obviously get beaten by 1-0. Ekong, that is the captain of Nigeria, has gone ahead to score a penalty after Victor Osimhen was brought down in the mixer. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. This is the match reaction. This has been, by the second game of the day because Equatorial Guinea went ahead to play with Guinea-Bissau today earlier, and I never brought you that update because I need to eat that. It was not really necessary for you because I don't think that we have any Equatorial Guinea and Guinea-Bissau supporters here. The game ended 4-2 in favor of Equatorial Guinea, and Guinea-Bissau went ahead to score 2 goals, but they couldn't obviously help them go to where they deserve to be. So this group is really tricky, and it really takes us to what really happened now. So before we go into that, we thank God for the gift of life. The Muslims, Barakallahu fikum, and may the living to God bless you abundantly. Now, Nigeria came into this game where they're having only 1 point, and Ivory Coast we are topping the Group A. So it was all about Nigeria to obviously get 3 points today because it meant a lot for them. If they never went ahead to get 3 points today, their chances of going through would have been really hard after Equatorial Guinea had gone ahead to obviously win their game. Remember, I think Nigeria is going to play Guinea-Bissau last, and Ivory Coast have to face Equatorial Guinea, and Ivory Coast have to win Equatorial Guinea come rain come sunshine to go through. And remember, it has been 16 times when they haven't lost a game in the group stages, that is Ivory Coast, but at home with the stadium filled, they've gone ahead to lose that game. But let's talk about the tactics. Nigeria came in with a 3-4-3 system, and one thing I really liked about the manager is bringing in Bassi, in that central defense. Then he also gave Chikwueze a way to start, and the front three had Chikwueze, Victor Osimhen, and Lookman, and they really transited very well. Nigeria tried to park the bus and hit them on the break, and all of the attack that you saw of Nigeria, it was all about that overhead ball to see to it that Osimhen, Lookman, and Chikwueze capitalize onto their ultra speed, and they try to create threat in front of the goal area of Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast had the lion's share of the possession, but I rarely remember when they had what we call a very clean chance to score, because the defense was really playing very well and the midfield was really seated next to the defense, and it was very hard for them to penetrate. And this is why I asked myself, why didn't Ivory Coast bring in Amad Diallo from Manchester United? Because they lacked what we call a penetration. The outlets were not there, because when you look at the players that are really playing wide, they are not giving them the outlets that everyone would think about. Ivory Coast had Ivory Coast had they had Boga as a left forward and Kouame as a right forward. I don't remember any time these two really causing havoc to that back line, to the fullbacks of Nigeria. That is it. So that shows you that they are not what they're supposed to be. They need to be having players who play wide. They are missing out on Wilfred Zaha. They're not having Sebastian Haller as their target man. So it's pretty hard for them, and I don't know exactly what they are going to do, because it's really bad. And I don't know why Wilfred Zaha never really came or made it to this side of Ivory Coast. So when you look at Nigeria, they had Iwobi and Onyeka in that midfield, and I think they went ahead to play very well. But Fofana, Sangare, and Frank Kessie played really very well. They controlled that midfield. They really put the ball down, but every time they gave that ball to the midfielders, you saw to it that these midfielders couldn't obviously transit to the positivities that everyone really wants them to be. And you only saw to it that it was Fofana who went ahead to really try out some huge strikes at the goal of Ivory Coast. And the stats also show you that Ivory Coast were into the joking land. If at all a team that has been playing a low block has gone ahead to have almost shots at goal equating to yours, it shows you that there was a big problem. That is it. So let's see how the shots on target were. 14 shots by Ivory Coast, Nigeria had 11. 3 shots on target by Ivory Coast, Nigeria had 1. It shows you how they really play deep, and when they got that only goal, they said we are going nowhere and let's sit here. 65% ball possession by Ivory Coast, Nigeria had 35%. The fact, as I told you, that Ivory Coast had a lion's share of the possession. 424 passes completed by Ivory Coast, 236 passes completed by Nigeria, 86% passing accuracy by Ivory Coast. Nigeria had 73% passing accuracy. 16 fouls by Ivory Coast, 19 fouls by Nigeria. 0 yellow cards to Ivory Coast and 1 yellow card to Nigeria. 0 red cards to both sides. 3 offsides to Ivory Coast and 1 offside to Nigeria. 5 corners to Ivory Coast and 6 corners to Nigeria. And this is how the table is really looking like. Equatorial Guinea on top, 4 points. Nigeria second, 4 points. Ivory Coast third, 3 points. Guinea-Bissau, 0 points. So, what is going to happen is, Ivory Coast is going to tussle it out with Equatorial Guinea on the final day. Nigeria is going to tussle it out with Guinea-Bissau. And I think Nigeria might end up as leaders of this group. That is it. Nigeria might end up toppers of this group, and Ivory Coast need to come in through and really be second. And if at all they go second, trust me, they are gonna face a very huge team into this tournament, because the first team in every group will have to first really go in for the best losers, and the best losers are gonna be 4, because there are 6 groups. 2 qualify automatically, those are 12, and more 4 will be gotten from the third place teams in the groups. Now, Nigeria will get a third best team in the other groups. The same applies to Egypt or Ghana, and the rest is gonna be history. So Ivory Coast need a miracle, and they need to win their last game to go through. Nigeria need to win their last game to go through and to make it easy that side. But Victor Osimhen again being responsible for that penalty that Ekong really went ahead to take, it shows you how important he is for this team of Nigeria. Scoring in the game against Equatorial Guinea, remember Nigeria were a goal down and leveled up that game very well, and this time around he has gone ahead to put in a shift of really scoring getting them a very important penalty. And everyone was shocked when Ekong, the captain, who is a defender, stood at that ball, and it was not Victor Osimhen, because we all know that Victor Osimhen has gone ahead to obviously take penalties, but he has gone ahead to miss some. This time around, I think it was an order coming in through from the training ground that whenever we get a penalty in the 90th minute, guess who's gonna take it? It's gonna be Ekong, and Ekong did justice to that penalty. So that's the match reaction that I went ahead to obviously get in for you, and hope you guys are really fine. And there is a big one coming next. It's Ghana versus Egypt, and Ghana versus Egypt is really very important, and I would love to obviously show you exactly what the lineups are and who you're going to expect to obviously be playing into this game. It's El Sharawi in goal, OK right back, Ahmed Sharaf left back, El Ghazi and Abdemelhin central defense, Fati and El Nini double pivot, Salah right attacking midfielder, Momosh central attacking midfielder, and Ashhawa left attack midfielder, and M. Mohammed is leading the line. When you look at Ghana, they are having Ofori in goal, Odoi right back, Mensah left back, Salisu and Dijiku into the central defense, Abdul Samed, Muhammad Kudus and Ashimeru in the midfield 3. I think Kudus cannot be played in the CDM area. I think one of these is going to play in the CDM, and Kudus is going to really be played in the midfield here. So Ayu left back, Semenyo Soji left forward. Semenyo is going to play as a right forward, and I think Inaki Williams is going to obviously lead the line. But I think Inaki Williams is supposed to be playing either here. So I think it's going to be Semenyo or Ayu leading the line. I think this lineup is not yet sorted very well. But for Ghanaian fans, they're going to be really happy to see it that Muhammad Kudus is back into the starting 11, because in the game they played they really missed out onto him, and they need a win. That is it. Ghana needs to win against Egypt, but we wait and see how that really pans out. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. Tell me your reactions onto this, and they're welcome into the comment section below. We sign out for now. See you later, my mates.